Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge, is opening at Busch Gardens Williamsburg in 2025, presumably spring of 2025, potentially Memorial Day, who knows. But there's so much to unpack about this brand new B&M family inverted roller coaster that will be opening very, very soon at Busch Gardens Williamsburg. It's been a hot minute since I've uploaded an analysis video for you guys, and this is going to be my analysis on the Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge for Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Let's check it out.
Now get ready. Here we go.
Okay, so not much information is presently known about this attraction in terms of stats, but this is what we do know. We know right away that the Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge, will open up at Busch Gardens Williamsburg as North America's longest family inverted coaster out there, which is a cool record to have, which is 2,583 feet long. It's going to have 2 lift hills throughout the ride. It's going to have theming throughout the ride, and it will be going at speeds of about 40 miles an hour. No inversions. It is family oriented. So think Phoenix Rising at its sister park, Busch Gardens Tampa, as the closest thing that you'll come across to this ride. Now, I've never ridden a B&M family inverted coaster, but I have ridden Iron Menace, which they don't even correlate one bit. But the reason I mentioned Iron Menace here is because of supposedly B&M's not very good looking way of building coasters now, because these past couple of coasters that B&M has created from the start of the decade have not been the smoothest. And there's already a lot of speculation that this ride is also going to fit that bill and not be a very smooth ride. And that wouldn't surprise me one bit. I'm just afraid that this ride isn't going to live up to the hype because of it. This ride is going to be the Drachenfire replacement. This ride is going to be utilizing the Drachenfire station and the ride area where Drachenfire had its entrance as well. They're reusing the queue and the station for this attraction. So it's really cool that they're utilizing past Busch Gardens Williamsburg history into this attraction. And speaking of history, let's talk about the name The Big Bad Wolf. Might ring a bell because the park also used to have a roller coaster by the same name. It was an aerodynamic swinging suspended coaster that actually was formerly in the location that is now housed by Verbolten, which so happens to be this ride's neighbor. Isn't that funny? But this ride's going to have a lot of similarities to it from the predecessor. It's going to be traversing through a town. It's going to have 2 lift hills. It's going to be underneath the track. So it's going to kind of be very similar, a very similar vibe, a more family-oriented version of the thrilling Big Bad Wolf that once resided where Verbolten now stands currently. So let's talk a little bit about this ride and what this ride is going to accomplish. So where will this likely be? So right to the side of the Fest House, there's a pathway off to the left-hand side, and most likely they're going to open up that entire pathway. It's going to go all the way down. It's going to keep to its left, and that is where you'll come across the entrance for this attraction. It's going to kind of be by itself. It's going to feel a little isolated right now. And I think over time, this is going to be an area that Busch Gardens Williamsburg is going to continue to invest more time and money into. Because Oktoberfest right now is going to probably be an area of the park that's going to have a lot of rides really soon. And Big Bad Wolf is going to be the start of that next expansion going out. And this is going to be a very good ride for the future. It's going to add more flats probably next year or the year after that. Whether it's family coasters, a thrill flat, who knows? But now that they're adding this pathway, it's going to go very far away from the park. Like, this is a ride that they're saying could be open for the winter event, but with how far away you'd have to walk to get there, I'm not sure. It kind of reminds me of the distance to get from the Golden Kingdom to Kingda Ka when that ride was open at Great Adventure. because that's what Big Bad Wolf is going to kind of feel like. I'm afraid that when this ride opens, that people are going to start to pull back from it if the Big Bad Wolf so happens to be on the rougher side, which I hope it's not. But one of the biggest question marks about this ride has been the ride layout. Now, as of when I was recording this video, which was probably a month ago from when I release it, one of the things is that the track work has already been completed. So there's a very high probability that when this video releases, there's already a POV out. But I might have found something relatively close to what the actual layout of the roller coaster could be from ML Designs. Once again, huge shout out to ML Designs for creating what could be the potential layout for this ride. Couple statistics once again: speed of 40 miles an hour, 2,500 feet of track. You have to be 42 inches to ride. Under 48, you have to be with an adult, but 48 inches by yourself. So again, this is a family coaster in this sort of market. So let's get into what is most likely going to end up being the ride layout. So once you leave the station, you're going to make a right-hand turn and ascend up the lift hill, which will take, this is the first lift hill once again. You then drop down and you make your way over to the right. This will take you up into an airtime hill, which is supposedly going to end into a double down. As you pass by the second lift hill on your left-hand side, you go around through a couple of different wave turns as you're going up and down through rubble of the town. You're going around these buildings, you're going inside the town and back around again. Again, very reminiscent of the old Big Bad Wolf. Eventually, you even out after a right-hand turn and you ascend up your second lift hill. And looks like it's going to slow you down here when it gets to the second lift hill before you head back up. So I wonder if this ride has the potential to run about 3 trains, which it possibly could. Once you get to the top of the second lift hill, you drop back down, you go through what looks to be a really cool wave turn. That's a pretty steep wave turn, if you ask me. You make your right-hand turn, you go through a couple of airtime pops as you go through another wave turn before you make a right-hand turn into the final brake run. It's a pretty exploratory ride, if you ask me, and could be a very interesting investment for the park throughout its lifespan. And once again, as mentioned previously, everything in Drachenfire's vicinity, which is where the ride's being built, is getting reused. So the store right next to it, that's shown in the video, that's getting reused. The station's getting reused. The queue's getting reused. Plus, they're adding more to it. This is going to be a very interesting ride that is sort of rebranding the park history a little bit while adding on to what has already been there before. It's going to be a very interesting ride. Now, obviously, because of the name Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge, people are going to end up comparing it to its predecessor that got replaced by Verbolten. Will this ride be any better than the Aero suspended coaster that once was on Verbolten's Plottoland? Honestly, the answer for that's going to be no. I don't think it's going to be any better. This ride is a family-based version of it. It's going to be great for the families. It's going to be a perfect ride, I think, because primarily Verbolten is without question way more intense than I think they wanted to go for. So I think Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge, is going to be that perfect family coaster that they have been longing to get for a while. And I think it's going to be a really solid fit. It's going to build towards people to get on Alpengeist later. It's going to build towards those younger riders that can't go on Verbolten yet. It's going to be a ride that I think is going to be a great stepping stone and build more towards the current coaster lineup that they have right now. I feel like outside of this, what's after that? Like Invader, probably. There really is a hard line. I mean, yeah, you got Dark Coaster right next to it too. But again, there is a very thin line that they could go by when they think about, okay, what's the next big coaster that they can ride? This is probably going to be it. Like this coaster right here, Big Bad Wolf. So this is going to be very popular with the families. And I think if you go into that understanding, I think you're going to really like this ride. I am concerned about the smoothness, though, based on Phoenix Rising's results from what I've heard about it. So I don't know exactly how it'll run compared to that. Hopefully those kinks are figured out. I will say right now, the trains look fantastic. If you haven't seen that picture that Busch Gardens Williamsburg sent out about the trains for it, if those actually are what the trains look like, oh my god, it's gonna be so good. I would love for it if those trains actually, if the eyes of the trains light up at night. That's gonna look absolutely sick if that's what they do. So I'm looking forward to hearing more details about this ride as it comes through. Again, we're probably gonna hear even more news about this ride way before this video comes out. So it'll probably be pretty outdated, unfortunately, by the time it releases. But you know what? That's my thoughts on Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge. Let me know if you think this ride's going to be a hit or not for Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and always thank your ride operators. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you all in the parks very soon. Goodbye.
Here we go.
Park 10.